So some companies are like that. But some companies are basically heavy on a private. If it needs to be private, it needs to be private. So that's basically what that is. Solomon, sorry, you have a question. Say, can I connect Docker via PowerShell? Yes. If you install Docker Desktop, yes, you can connect to via PowerShell. And I can test this also to confirm with you. Opening PowerShell, dragging into a bigger screen, and if I type Docker, yes, you can connect to it. But what you might notice is that some of Docker commands might be giving you issues because the behavior. Remember, Docker is Linux-based. The behavior might be a bit off. So that's why I prefer to in Windows. If I'm running Docker on Windows, I prefer to use Git. All right, Dominic, Dominic, go back to you. Go ahead and go ahead with the labs.
Yeah, sorry. What do you call it? Git what?
Sorry, Git bash.
Okay,
Git
Git
bash.
badge. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
All
if
right,
you
thank you.
install Git, if you install Git on your Lucas Git SCCM, or it comes with it. It's one of the packages that comes with Git.
All right.
All right, Dominic, over to you.
Okay, 1 second. I would join in Jiffy. So sorry, guys. I have so much on my plate right now, and I was trying to ensure that I finish up ahead of time. So let me quickly share my screen and do a run check. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Not yet. It's still loading.
Hold on, it's coming up. Can you see my screen?
Can't see it yet. Can another person see it yet?
No, I can't see it either.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, let me stop. Let me share again. How about now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, right. So I'm going to. So first and foremost, I'm going to quickly run a Flask package. I'll create the 1 second. One second, please.
Dominic, we can't hear you if you're talking though.
Sorry. Oh, so sorry, please. I've been speaking on mute all this while. Sorry, my sincere apologies. So can you see my screen, or can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so here I would first of all go to create a directory on my what I'm trying to do here is to create a containerized app with Docker and then host it inside Docker, then view the output on a web on a browser on a web page. So it looks like it should just look like we hosted an application in Docker, and then just like a website, for example. So first, I will first of all create a directory where I want to run my run all my Docker programs and all. So make directory. I will name this directory. Let's say Azure class version. Let's say Azure class version 2. I'll hit enter. So this command that you see me using, one of the key things that you need to understand about learning Docker or how to be very good with DevOps, Terraform, and the likes, you need to understand how to use Linux. And then if you understand the basics about Linux, it's one thing that you be very versatile with what you're going to do. Sorry, let me do that again. Sorry, Control-C. Sorry, make directory space, colon, I'll name my class Azure class version, let's call it version 2, right? Hit enter. It's going to create a directory. I will say yes, so it's already created a directory now. So the directory is called Azure Class version 2. You can see last created is this date, 7:25 p.m. The next in line is I will change the directory to this Azure class. So what I will do is I'll do cd, which is change directory space, colon, I will say Azure class version 2, and don't forget to put my quotes in between, and then hit enter. Oh, sorry. Let's okay, Azure Cloud version 2. So I can just come here and say cd um, 1 second. cd. Okay, so this is my class. I change my directory to this class, and then I'll create another directory. I'll call that one make directory dir app. I'll hit enter, so you can see that I've created that as well. I would say new item. space Docker file, comma main.cf space dash item. I will explain all of this so that you guys can type file. Right, I will do the same thing, create another item again, another file. I'll say new dash item space. I will name it app dash backslash dot py. Py stands for Python dash item type space file. So what I just did is create a file, a file called main.cf. I create another file. I'm creating another file called app.py. It's a Python file. I'll hit enter. You can see the Python is here. So once I do all of this, the next in line is to go to this first directory that we created, which is Azure class version 2. So I will come in here. I will say open a window, or no, sorry, open a folder here, and then I'll look for the folder. Azure class version 2 is here, and select this folder. So all what we just created, you will see it in you can see it here, right? So we can do this through graphic user interface here. I can easily come here and say, create a new, I can just create a new file, I create a new folder, name the folder Azure class version 2. And then under the folder, I can create a file, another folder, name it app. Inside that app, I can create another app, name it app.python. And then in that, I can create another file, name it Docker file, right? I can do all of this through GUI, but the reason why I'm doing this is for you to see that you can do all of this through command line, and then you have access to all of this to be able to run your Python, your Terraform or Python code thereabout. So in as much as I've created all of this, I can show you another step to do that through GUI, right? I can come in here, I can say, I can create a new window here, and this new window, I can equally come here and say, create a folder, right? I can come here and say, okay, new folder, add a folder to a workspace. I can name the folder, I can say new folder, I can say new folder, 1 second. Okay, I can come in here and open a folder, and then there's a space here. You can come in here and say new folder, and then you can give the folder a name for any name of your choice. And then you can use that to quickly write. I don't know, Windows is so slow. I want to use my Mac better. I think I have so much restrictions in here. Oh my God. Let me cancel. I can do this on the desktop. Sorry, 1 second. Windows is just so annoying. More reason why when you want to set up a desktop, a Docker desktop, or create a container registry on any computer, you can do that in Mac within 2 minutes, and in Windows you can take up to an hour plus to do that. So Windows has so many dependencies and it takes a lot of time. So here I can name the folder Azure class version 3, right? I can select the folder here. Oh my God. I'm so sorry about Windows. It's so slow, running too many things at the same time. Okay. Oh my God. I'm so sorry about Windows, man. Okay, so it's there. I can select the folder and say select. I can come in here and open the folder from here. It's still the same thing. I can come in here and select that particular folder, open the folder, and then you see the version 3 is here. I can click in here and then it will take me to that folder. No, I don't want to save. Don't save. Don't save. You can come in here and open the folder and then select the version 3 that I just created. It's created in desktop. Let's go to desktop. Desktop. You can see Azure version 3 here. And then if I open that folder, it can come in here. I can start creating each of my file and folders that I want to do. But one of the fastest way you can do this, you can do this through command line, and you'll be able to save. You can do this through command line, and you'll be able to open your folders, your files and folders pretty simple and easy. So one of the things I like to do the most is to open stuff through command line, and I'm able to do what I want to do. Let's go back again. Desktop. There. Azure Cloud version 3. Open. Save. Yeah. Now it's going to take me to that folder. Inside that folder, I can start creating each file in each folder. So one of the beauty about it is if you understand how to use VS Code, which is Virtual Studio Code, you would be, now this is the Azure class. I can come in here and then hit on this file, and then I can start creating another file here. I can call this main.tf. That's for the Terraform, right? I can come here again in the Azure class here. I can create another file. I can call it app.python, right? Hit enter. Did you see that? So you can create the same thing I just did from code. You can do that here from GUI. But one of the fastest way is if you know how to use Linux, you would do that pretty simple. But I didn't want to go take much of your time doing the GUI. So one of the things that I need to show you guys here is to first create our application, which is the application.python, which is the PY stands for .python. I will explain each of this code that I'm going to write in here. So in creating a file first, I will say from, sorry. Okay, so this is so slow, man. Sincere apologies about this. Okay, so I'll say from Flask. Oh, yeah. Hit enter, and then I'll say app. I'm doing all of this because I would show you, explain each one of these into it. I will call it, I will name it. So one good thing about AI these days is they auto-generate all of this code, but if you know what you're doing, AI already generate that. I can just say hit next, tab, and then it will create what I want to create, right? And then I'll go to the next line. I will say at app. Dot routes. I will explain each and every code I want to do here, and then so that you guys can understand. Python has a strong indentation, so if you make mistake with about indentation, you are going to get an error from Python. So I'll use this. So I don't want to use this name now. So this is what we want to host now. We want to say, okay, let me use that. I want to say, hello, Azure class, space, let's do it this way. Return app def hello. So let me quickly go back to the one I already created. So instead of you to take much of your time, I think my Windows machine is very slow and I don't want to take much of your time. Here, I will just go to the one I already created and then explain each of the code for you guys. Then I would, let me just go straight to that code here. 1 second. Open a new folder. Documents. One second. Open a new workspace. New window. Yeah, this will do for now. So what I want to do here, the big picture of what I want to do is to, I'm going to show you how we do like infrastructure as a code to open that locally. So I already created a previous class before now. So this is it here, and then I'm going to explain each one of this here, right? So if you see here, this was what I was trying to do here. I already created this, and let me explain the Python app for you. So from Flask app, I import a lightweight Python called WebFrame, and then the Flask let us create a web server with a web server with a very little code in it. So the Flask app name creates a Flask application instance with what you are seeing here. And then it has a name. It created a name for it. And in that name, the name tells the Flask where the app is going to be located. It can load resource correctly into a local host. So here I also create a route. The route, I call the route hello return Docker deployed with Terraform, right? Docker deployed with Terraform. I can add another name here. I can say sorry. So let me just go ahead and explain it. So it then create the app route, and then in the app route, it return the code called Docker deploy with Terraform. Here, when someone visits this homepage, is going to see this name here, Docker deploy with Terraform in here, right? So the Flask app runs on hello function, which is this here you are seeing here, and then it text on the browser, and in the browser is going to return a plain text like this. So if we deploy the Docker, the app, this is what we are going to see inside the Docker app. So if, for example, you host a website, for example, you can put this here and put that. I'm just giving for instance, for example. So why do we use a function? Because Flask map the URL. It's going to map URL from going to map URL into Python functions. So if, for example, this name that you see here now, name underscore main here, app runs a host of the network interface return to Flask listing on port 5000 is what it's telling you here. And in that case, inside this container, if we use, for example, a local host 127.0.0.1, Docker would not respond to this app because we did not use this app. We did not use this local host here. The default local host is 127.0.0.1. But in this case, we want the local host to run on this host and then on this port 5000. Let's say, for example, we want to do 127.0.0.1 dash slash port 8080, that's 80ps, or use port 8. But in this case, we want to put our local host on a .0.0 and then a port 5000. So if we start a web server, it's going to respond to HTTP requests, and it has no Docker or Terraform logic inside it. So what you are seeing here is a complete Python app. And in this case, I'll go to the Docker file here. The Docker file you see here is the Docker file itself. We are building on top of a Python, not from scratch, but from the Docker app itself. So we have a work directory. Let me open this directory. 1 second. Oh, so sorry. My Windows machine is messing up. Now, so do you have a Mac? Is your Mac available? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you.
You are very audible. Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, sorry, my Windows is, I want to switch to Mac here, but I don't think I can do that here, and my Windows machine is acting terrible right now. So, oh my God. So what I'm trying to do here is to copy, thank you. So from Python app, we have this Python Slim version 3.12 Slim and a working directory called app. So if you look on the my left side, you see the directory we created is called app. And then we copy everything on app and put it inside, and then we'll run a Python install flags and expose Python, expose it to 5,000 port 5,000, which you see here. And then there's and then in the command we say we have a Python app in here. So it's going to run a Python. It's going to run a pipe install flags and then install flags inside this container. That is what this is going to do. Yeah, let me close this. And then it's going to, so in this case, this dependency is isolated from our local machine here. And then what we are going to do here is we are going to expose port 5,000. The document says that the container links to port 5,000. That is what you see here from a Python app. And in that case, we do not publish the port by itself. We already. So the actual port mapping later, not from here. So what you are seeing here basically is, So what you are seeing basically here is this command, command Python app.py is a default command. When container starts, it's going to run a Python.app, an app.python command here. So what you should understand here is this Docker file describe how to build an image. This is more or less like, I'll call it an immutable app. So it produces a reusable artifact of Docker image. This is what this does here. So in the Terraform, in the last stage here is when we say Docker build -t Terraform demo, is going to build. So let me go to the Terraform file. Let me go to the Terraform main.tf here. So this is the Terraform file here. And then if you look here, so we have providers. Our Terraform providers is called cruiseworker/docker. Our Terraform provider is coming from a source called cruiseworker/docker, and then it's running on a version 3.0. So the provider host here basically is called npipe. This is the host engine for the Docker pipe, and then it's coming from Docker itself. And the resource name for it basically is called Docker image app. So the name for it is called Terraform-demo latest. That's the image itself. Then we're going to build the Docker itself. Our current build here and then we'll run a Docker. We'll do a Docker run, and then a Docker run -p to run on port 5,000, in the sense that it's going to. One second, please. It's going to start a container and then map it into ports. I'm going to map it into a host port of port 5,000, and then a container port of 5,000 as well. This is it. These are the two ports. It's going to host a port of 5,000 and an external port of 5,000. What this code is telling you basically is the app works. If the app works, Docker and the Docker file is going to work. Terraform should not be the first test here. So in this case, from our Terraform block, we are going to run a Terraform code. We are going to run the Terraform command to deploy this app. So what this Terraform code tells you is where the Docker file is coming from, which is the directory, the source here. The source is coming from here, right? From the engine itself. And then what directory is it building for? The context is what directory is it building from? That's what you see here, context, right? So the Docker image is the resource. The Docker container resource is the Docker_container-app that you see here, right? And then the name of the Docker is called tf-demo/container. And then the image of that file is called docker_image.app_image_id, which is what you see here. And then it will create a container that uses an image build above that I've just made mention. And the dependency here is automatic. Let's say I've written all the codes and I want to create a new, I want to create this Docker. I want to create this Docker file here. I'm going to say Terraform init, which means I'm going to initialize my file here. 1 second. I'm saying Terraform init. Sure. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, my computer is acting up. Okay. Okay. Oh, I did it twice. So I will say Terraform init, and then I'm going to initialize all what we just did from Terraform, right? So I will go ahead. Let me cancel this. Oh, I have too many inits. The Terraform spelling is wrong. Here I'll say Terraform space initialization, which is the init. When I hit enter, it's going to initialize. And when it does, it's going to tell me all the dependency that has been created here. So let's wait for it to initialize. So when it's initializing, it's going to download this provider that we created here from top. Remember, we created the Terraform provider. Create that is the working directory that we have already created here. So this provider is 3.0. It's coming from a source called cruise worker / docker. It's going to create download the provider and initialize it. So instead of it, for me not to waste most of your time, I already done this. I just destroyed it, and then try to redo it again. So let's wait for it to initialize. My computer is okay now. Okay. My computer is acting up, but I can show you the ones I've done previously from here. So when you use Terraform initialize, you can see that it's going to initialize the backend, the provider plugins. It's going to find this source that we use, cruise worker / docker version 3.0, which I showed you in the code. Once you finish initialize in finding it, it's going to install the cruise worker docker version, and then it's going to install. After installing the version and the partner from it, Terraform, is going to say Terraform has been successfully initialized. Once that is done, I'm going to run a command called Terraform format. The Terraform FMT means if your Terraform file does not have proper indentation, Terraform is going to help you format all of that by design. So you don't have to start indenting your Terraform code. This is going to do all of that for you. And then you are going to validate what you, all the script you run. So if there's an error within your code, it's going to tell you that there's an error. So at this point, when you finish initializing, it says we validate our code. We say Terraform validates. When you validate your code, it's going to validate and comes with a success. Otherwise, it's going to tell you that if there's an error, it's going to tell you there's an error in one of your code, and it's going to point out where the error is coming out from. Other than that, it's going to come with a success and tell you the configuration is valid. Then we are going to the Terraform plan basically is to plan what we are going to deploy. So the Terraform plan is what we are going to plan what we want to deploy here. And when it plans, Terraform is going to select the provider and generates the execution that we are about to deploy. So let me see if that initialize has done. Oh no, it's still really very slow here. My computer is really acting up. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't use Windows for work because if you do this, it takes me 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes 56 seconds. Deploy all this within in Mac and in Windows, because it has too many dependencies. I'm unable to do all of this with Windows because sometimes Windows is going to take much of your time and you're unable to do all of the this deployment within a very short while. So in this time here, I'll just explain what I've done here, because I already tested all what I'm doing and to show you how it works. And then, so when you say Terraform plan, it's going to plan what we are going to deploy. In this case here, you can see that Docker container app, which is the app.python container app is there, will be created. These are all the dependencies in it, the host name, the image, everything inside it. This is it. And then the second is going to create the image app, which you see here. And then if you look here on the plan notes, it tells you that 2 to add to this plan, 0 to change, and 0 to destroy. So if you say Terraform apply here at this point in time, it's going to tell you, it's going to tell you that all of these resources that you have planned will be created. Do you want to go ahead and create this resource? If you click yes by entering yes, it's going to start creating the Docker file. And when it does, it will create the Docker image and the Docker file itself using Terraform. Once it's been created, it will tell you the creation is complete after 8 seconds, right? So if you come in here, this is our container app, this is a Docker desktop, and you will see the container image. And then if you go to the local host here, that's the link that you see from our Python app. Okay, so this is the container image. This is the image, tf.demos latest, and it's talking to port 5000 internal and external, right? So if you go to our if you go to the message, my computer is acting up, really acting up. So if you go to the code or the link of that app that we have inside our container app, is going to show you the image from your web browser and show you exactly what you put in there. I think because of how bad my computer is acting up right now, I'm unable to do much of this demo to be able to explain all of this and show you what we've done. In as much as I didn't want to go further on this, I would sort out my computer in the next class and then do like a short demo. All of these things doesn't take up to 5-10 minutes to deploy, if not for my computer that is acting up right now. So 1 second. See, my initialize is still taking over 30 minutes, more than 10 minutes rather. It doesn't waste time to initialize. It takes within less than 1 minute to initialize. And because of this, I'm unable to do all proceed further while my computer is acting up. I will leave this to next class, and then maybe I would use my Mac to do all of this next in our next class, to be able to explain all of this and do like a short demo. This doesn't take much time. It takes about 5 minutes to do all of this. I don't know. Maybe in our next class, I'll go ahead and redo this first before the slide. I'm so sorry this is acting up right now, guys. My computer is acting. Can you hear me, please? Oh no.
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
My computer is acting up. Seriously, my computer is acting up.
I understand.
Oh,
Windows is Windows.
nah. Honestly, I don't use Windows again. I don't use Windows for work. Everything it takes me you can see now the initializing is just taking 20, 30 minutes, just an initialization that doesn't take up to five seconds or so thereabout. Is now that it's showing initializing. I mean, this is something that I would just show you within 5-10 minutes to show you how a Docker image looks like when you deploy one. And then if you create it, where you want to host it. Let's say, for example, you want to host a website, and then you can how to host it on a web browser to make it look more easier. See, the initializing is just coming up. This is really messed up. See, it's showing initializing. I don't know. Should we leave this class and then continue from next week where we stop?
Yes. Yes, please.
So
Yes, and
so
please
sorry,
make
guys.
sure you come with the Mac OS next week.
So I have my Mac here with me. Is a work PC, but I'll create another account with my Mac and then redo this again so that I'll be able to use this tool. I mean, it takes 2 minutes to deploy Docker desktop and Docker image and containerize it. Containerized app with you can see it just finished initializing, right? Okay, let's see. Let me close this. Let me close this. Let me close this. See. Oh no. Don't save. Cancel. So you can see that this is. Let me see if we to Terraform formats. Let me hit enter. I think this looks like it's working. Okay. Terraform validates. So I'm going to validate all what I'm creating. I want to create a simple container app and show you. If there's an error with the code, it's going to tell me there's an error when you validate your code. And if there's none, it's going to come out with a success. I think it takes less than 5 to 10 or 20 seconds thereabouts. But this is really messed up. I don't know how my Terraform plan will look like when I write, say, a plan or Terraform apply, because I really wanted to show you the app, a containerized app hosted in a Docker desktop, and then to be able to view that with a local host in my machine on a browser with a name. So I can change this name here to write everybody's name in a file and then put it. So when I host it, it will show up in the browser. So this is it here. I can say Terraform plan and hit enter. So it's going to plan everything that we just deployed. You can see now it's planning 2 resources to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. If I come in here and show you the application that wants to deploy, it's going to deploy a Docker container app, one, and another, it's going to create the image. It will create the application, and then it will create the image. So the application is going to report on port, external port and internal port of 5,000 each, and then the IP address of .0.0.0. We didn't use normal localhost. And then when we say Terraform apply, it's going to tell us whether I want to, do you want to proceed with this action? Yes. And then we hit enter. It's going to start creating the Docker image. I already have a Docker desktop here, and you will see the Docker desktop. You see the image here and the application. So I'll show you a simple. Okay, so it's creating. Let's wait for it. It takes less than 8 seconds. Yeah, because my computer is slow, maybe it might take up to 10 seconds. The first one I did used 8 seconds. So let's see. Creating the image app, and it's showing you the time, more than 30 seconds. I mean, this doesn't waste time in Mac. So when I use my Mac, it takes. Okay. There is an error. Unexpected error. Name dots. On line 14. So let's go to line 14. So there's an error. So on line 14, 1 second. Let me see. What does this say? Docker demo. All right. App. Let me see. Running build. Failed legacy build. Unexpected error. So let me see this error, what it says. Unexpected error. So this command here, says is unable to read this file here. Docker is trying to build an image, and then he found a Docker file already built and ended unexpected. So in that case, there is this line here is missing. I need to close in an inverted comma. Oh. Line 14. A second. Docker image app.image underscore ID. Oh, okay. Okay. I think I know what it is. So I'm going to change this here. Going to change this here, Docker image. Dot app. I will use, let's say I will use dot name. Dot name. All right. Let me save my file. Run Terraform apply this. Yes. Sorry. Underscore ID. Image. Terraform format. Oh, sorry, wrong spelling. Mm. Sorry. Terraform applied. Yes. Guys, I'm going to stop here now because I have to go. Guys, we will have to continue next week. I have to stop here.
All right, boss.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, Solomon.
Yes, sorry, just a quick one, right? So, because there's a line of documentation not so shared with us, right? And
Okay.
I want to know if he make use of Terraform. Why containerizing the application that he was making use of? Must we make use of Terraform, or do we
No.
need to
No.
learn Terraform? Yeah.
No, it's
Okay,
a
okay.
choice. Using Terraform is a choice. So you can use Python, you can use Go, you can use Golang, you can use anything you want, in as much as you want to select what you want to use to deploy. It's a thing of choice, but it is what you're comfortable with. But most apparently, it's better to use Python because it's very easy to use. You can choose to use Terraform, you can use any of the code, you can use Bicep, Azure Bicep, you can to do all of that. So it all depends on choice.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I'll end the class from here. I'll continue. I'll create up my